So the All-Star Game starters include, of course, Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, Aaliyah Boston, Paige Beckers, Neko Gumake, Satu Sabali, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Alicia Gray, and Sabrina Ionescu. The thing that really stirred up the internet last night was when we found out how the players ranked some of their fellow players, and of course, specifically Caitlin Clark. When it comes to the WNBA All-Star Game this year, the overall scores for the top 10 finishers are based on 50% of the fan vote, 25% of the player votes, and 25% of the media votes. Unfortunately, I am not surprised that the players ranked her so low. However, I do take it as a sign of disrespect to Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark didn't just break the WNBA voting record, she crushed it, pulling in 1.3 million fan votes. But here's the shocking twist. Some players seem to resent her success rather than celebrate it. Why are fans cheering while certain WNBA stars stay silent or even push back? Caitlin Clark's record-breaking 1.3 million fan votes made headlines, shattering the WNBA All-Star record. But here's where it gets messy. When players themselves were asked to vote, she wasn't even ranked in the top 5 for guards. In that list, Natasha Cloud and Brittany Sykes earned higher spots, sparking a firestorm of debate.
She had over 1.29, I believe, million votes just for her to be a WNBA All-Star, and then the media ranked her as the 3rd best guard. So if we look at this chart right here, you can see that there are 3 categories: the fan rank, the media rank, and then the player rank. And if you look at Caitlin Clark, she was the number 1 in fan rank, and we also saw that with the fan voting. Players ranked her as the 9th best guard. Now, if we look at this chart for both the guards and the front court, there are not that many players who have that wide of a discrepancy between the media rank and the player rank.
How could one of the most popular and talked about athletes in women's sports get so much love from fans but so little respect from her peers? The divide has grown too loud to ignore. Fans are treating Clark like the face of not just her team, but of an entirely new era for the league. From her college days, where she became a viral highlight machine, to her electric performances in her rookie season, she's pulled in millions of supporters from the US and way beyond. Social media posts featuring her consistently rack up massive engagement. This isn't just a movement, it's a phenomenon. But that outpouring of excitement is rubbing some players the wrong way. Everyone has a take, and not all of them are positive. Some fans have accused players of jealousy, unwilling to pass the torch to a rookie who's grabbing all the attention.
If you look closely here, the players have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2 players tied for 4th, then the 6th, 7th. There is no 8th place guard in this player rank. I know that she hasn't had her greatest season. I also know that she has been out with injury, but there is no person in the world who can convince me that there are 8 better guards than Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. So obviously there are a few other guards in this league that the players ranked higher and they thought that they should have been in WNBA All-Star.
It's wild to think of the WNBA as split into 2 squads, one playing basketball on the court and another managing egos and reputation off of it. The weighted voting system only highlights these dynamics. A fan vote accounts for 50%, while player and media votes hold 25% each. When players vote like this, some point out that conflicts of interest might be at play. Are players voting competitively, ranking down star challengers like Clark in favor of their teammates or closer friends? Whether or not that's true, the system doesn't guarantee objectivity.
Now, when you go to the weighted scores, Paige Beckers actually had a higher weighted score than Caitlin Clark. The fans ranked her at 2, the media ranked her at the 5th best guard, and the players ranked her as the 4th best guard. Now, I also find it interesting because the media ranked Alicia Gray as the best guard. She is up there in the MVP conversations. However, I think that Nafisa Collier has kind of run away with it at this point. However, if you are going to rank Paige Beckers 5 slots above Caitlin Clark at this point in time, even if we look at the statistics of the 2 of them, it just doesn't make sense.
Then there are the subtle and not so subtle rivalries brewing. Angel Reese, the LSU star tied to Clark in the public eye thanks to their NCAA clash, reportedly shared a since-deleted tweet suggesting people dismiss her unless they're Team Angel. Though Reese avoided directly mentioning Clark, many saw the post as a jab, fueling the larger conversation about resentment in women's sports. On top of that, phrases like overhyped, often tagged with sexist undertones, repeatedly aimed seem to chip away at Clark's growing stature. For every fan cheering, there seem to be critics sharpening their claws. What's undeniable, though, is her reach. Caitlin Clark has made every game she's in feel like an event, drawing millions of fresh eyes to the WNBA. And like it or not, that changes everything about the league.
You have somebody in Caitlin Clark who became the face of the league the first year that she was in the WNBA. She put up crazy numbers last season. So it honestly seems to me like the fan votes were one thing, the media votes are another thing, and I don't agree even with all of the media ranks here. We'll get more into that. However, just in 2023, the year before Caitlin Clark came into the league, Sabrina was ranked the 19th best guard in the league by the players, and she was an all-star. The players vote is a popularity contest. It's the players voting for their friends, voting for the people that they respect, and it's not truly about skill at all.
Caitlin Clark isn't just making waves on the court, her growing influence is reshaping the entire WNBA. The proof? The league is set to add 3 new teams by the year 2030. Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia are all getting franchises, which sounds like a standard expansion at first, but this sudden push for growth is entirely tied to the buzz Clark has created. More fans than ever are tuning in, packing arenas, and flooding social media with highlights. The WNBA is finally catching the momentum it's been building for years, and Clark is right at the center of it. If you want to see just how real the Clark effect is, take a look at the Golden State Valkyries. They haven't played a single game yet, and somehow they've already sold out all 10 of their home games for the upcoming season at the Chase Center. 10 games gone before tip-off. That doesn't happen without figures like Clark pulling new fans into the league. She's not just an all-star, she's creating a league-wide boom, and people are noticing. Even WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has said this expansion reflects mounting investment and a surge in demand for women's basketball. That demand isn't appearing out of nowhere. Corporate sponsors and television networks have joined the shakeup. With Clark leading the charge, the WNBA is seeing a flood of new sponsorships, plus increased competition among networks for broadcasting rights. Companies are eager to attach themselves to her name, knowing she's not just drawing existing fans, she's turning casual observers into diehard supporters. Rising TV deals mean more games hitting primetime, which brings more money into the league, ultimately making players across the board more visible and marketable. Even players skeptical of the hype are starting to come around. Sophie Cunningham, now Clark's teammate, publicly backed her star power, saying, "She has changed our game in the best possible way and every way. She seems ready to ride the wave, and increasingly it looks like others in the league may have to as well. The stakes couldn't be higher, but the opportunity is undeniable." Caitlin Clark's rise isn't just a personal milestone, it's transforming everything around her. The WNBA is seeing new teams, bigger crowds, and more money pour in, all thanks to fans rallying behind her every move. With corporate deals, higher salaries, and expanded rosters on the horizon, Clark's impact is already lifting opportunities for players across the league. But here's the bigger question: can the WNBA stars put rivalries aside and harness this momentum together? Whether you're a believer or a critic, one thing's clear: Clark is paving a path toward a future that could truly change women's basketball forever. What happens next?